down so that we could just start the event. I can see a few of the students leaving from the back door. Request you all to please be seated. Request all the students to be seated so that we can start off with this I3 series. Before taking it any further, may I request everybody to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Welcome to the 6th edition of the I3 series. May I request, if at all anybody has ever attended any of these I3 series, to please raise their hands so that we'll at least have an idea. None? And how many of you have attended any of the IIID events? So again, a handful of them. So there are many who have still not witnessed how exactly the IID events go through. So this is a sneak peek to the kind of events we do for the students. On behalf of Indian Institute of Interior Designers, Hyderabad Regional Chapter, I, Sushmita Subudhi, is thrilled to welcome you all to the 6th edition of the I3 series. A warm welcome to our Principal SPA, Architect Professor Srinivas sir. We are also delighted to have our esteemed speakers, IIID members, fellow managing committee members, faculty and students from various colleges who all have joined us today for this event. The Indian Institute of Interior Designers is the premier organization of interior designers in India, bringing together architects, interior designers, trade members, educationists, and students. Our Hyderabad chapter is very active, hosting regular fellowship events, workshops, seminars, factory tours, technical workshops, heritage walks, etc., all designed to push the boundaries of the design world. And that's its I3 series event. This unique initiative provides a platform for practicing design professionals to showcase their work and engage directly with students and faculty from Hyderabad's architecture and design colleges. We have an I5 series actually which is meant for the design professionals, and I3 is, so that is meant for the design professionals. The same architects and designers who shared their journey in the I5 series, they shared the journey here in the I3. So it is in fact their time and dedication towards the students' work which makes it even special, because they take the pain of coming and reaching out to you people to share their journey with you people. This edition holds a very special place in my heart, me specifically. One of our speakers, architect Sridhar Reddy sir, happens to be my faculty when I was doing my MArch interior design way back in 2005-2007. The second speaker, architect Meghna Dulani, happens to be an alumni of CSIT School of Architecture and Planning. So a very proud moment to see my student presenting her journey here. The third one being architect Mansa Devbhaktani, again, a budding designer, very, very young, doing great. So we have 3 designers across 3 generations to share their journey for you people to get inspired by their work. So I'm very confident that you all will gain knowledge and feel enriched by our architects inside. So welcome you once again for this I3 series. And I'm sorry I've taken quite a lot of time, but at this point I would request our chairperson, IID HRC, architect Pallavi Anchari, to kindly share a few words.
Good afternoon. A very warm welcome to you all to the 6th edition of I3 series event hosted by IIID HRC. It is with a great pleasure that we all gather here today to embark on another enriching session with the students. I extend my heartfelt welcome to our guests, our esteemed guest speakers, faculty members, students, and IID members. This is the last edition of I3 series of this tenure. It serves as a great platform for the students to learn and take the insights from the journeys of experienced designers. And today we are honored to have us with esteemed design experts whose works and experiences will undoubtedly ignite the passion and curiosity among all the students. I extend warm welcome and thanks to the design expert speakers, Architect Sridhar Reddy sir. Welcome sir. Architect Meghna, Architect Manasa. Your presence here today enriches us and definitely the student will enjoy your presentation. I would like to thank our committee member, Architect Sushmita Subudhi, for her efforts to ensure the success of this event. Once again, I extend my warm welcome to each one of you and enjoy the event. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Architect Pallavi Anchuri. Taking this event forward, our first speaker is none other than Architect Sridhar Reddy sir. Sir, because he is a sir to me, and way back in 2005, 2007, every time we would have a class with him, we would have jitters. God knows what kind of questions sir is going to ask, and his sense of humor is commendable. In fact, when we were having lunch and Medha was there, so I just told her that Sridhar Reddy sir is one of the speakers, and then she came along. Just said, okay, fine, let's go and just hear it out. So to introduce him, I request our Joint Honorary Secretary, Architect Amita Raj, to please come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to introduce you to the first speaker of the day. He's a very dear friend and alumni of this college, but I'm sure a lot of you present here in this hall must be knowing him because he takes out time from his practice and he's been teaching BARC among students since past 20 years. And of course, he's also been an active jury member in various architecture colleges in Hyderabad. But let me read you a few lines of introduction about him. Architect Bomma Reddy Sridhar Reddy, a graduate from SPA JNTU Hyderabad and a master's in the field of industrial design from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, started his professional journey in the year 1999 and established the firm Sridhar Reddy Associates at Hyderabad. During his master's, he designed an electronic voting machine for the state of Louisiana in the United States. He also designed windmill blades, an STD billing machine, a voting machine, and FRP bullock carts as part of industrial design. He is known for his unique design concepts and is into designing of residential, commercial, wellness, hospitals, institutional, hospitality, beach resorts, and recreational spaces. He is presently doing many projects using different construction technologies and materials like 3D printing, GRP, expanded polystyrene, prefab construction, container homes, ferro cement, rammed earth, porotherm brick blocks, and more. He has done widespread projects across India and also in countries like Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Sri Lanka, Oman, Australia, New Zealand, and USA. He's a visiting faculty since 2001 and in many architectural colleges of Hyderabad for both master's and bachelor students in the field of architecture, interiors, and industrial design, apart from being an active jury member for thesis presentations. He's also been a visiting faculty at NIFT Hyderabad. Please put your hands together and welcome architect Sridhar Reddy. You need this or? Take it, we'll distribute. We'll ask him to
Back there, like, it's difficult. यहाँ से आपको
आप
screen
जब बात
दिखेगा।
करें तो समझ में दिखाई भी नहीं देगा।
नहीं, यहाँ से आप बोलोगे तो यहाँ पे दिखेगा ना screen पे।
column mic कर लो। You want this or you want to?
चलो, बात करें ना।
Yeah, you want a column mic? ये लगा तो it's easy for you.
हाँ, यही लगेगा। चलेगा ये? It's okay. Hello? क्या कर रहे हो? हाँ, పెట్టు. No problem. Will it start?
Yes.
Sorry, back. पीछे चलो, back.
Back first.
मेरा हाथ में है. Hello, everyone. So this is the second series I'm talking about. Yeah, this is the second series. I mean, this is the second time I'm talking about. Earlier I was talking about interior design, the first series. Now it will be a little different. The idea is here not about interiors. We're talking about architecture basically, and then the kind of materials across, right from, I mean, the way I used all these materials, right, since last 25 years. So I've used rammed earth is one of those things, and then we've used ferro cement. Even now we are using ferro cement construction. Styrofoam technology is a thermocol induced with the mesh. I mean, I'll show you the samples as well. And the 3D printing, which we are doing right now in Coimbatore, about 70 wellness resort. I mean, it's a different form altogether because every material demands their own, I mean, some limitations are there. Same thing with the container, shipping container, where we have adaptive reuse of those things, where we start making homes as well as offices. And then GFRC panels are the huge panels where, I mean, these are the panels where you erect around, it comes in 4 meters height and 4 meters in length. You just erect them with cranes and all. I'll show you the techniques. And the third one is a porotome brick, and everyone knows it. It is a red brick, which is of 2 feet by 8 inches by 8 inches. When you start building it, so when you build it, there's certain techniques involved in that. So coming back, now let's talk about the rammed earth thing. So we'll talk about, I know everyone knows what is rammed earth. It is a very ancient technique where even now, भाई ये चलता है क्या? हाँ, किसको है? पहले ही थक गए. हाँ, आ गया. So these are very ancient. Yes, sorry. क्या? हाँ, सही बताए. अभी भी नहीं हो रहा. ఏం చేయాలి భయ్?
So once you say, check.
Now, yes. किधर घुमाना है इसको? So now coming back, let's come back to the picture. So this is, you have seen, this is in, it's a, the history of this, about the material is still there. We have used them in this kind of like, we have used them in history, like in the Great Wall of China and Spain, and even Mohenjo-daro people. Still those structures are still active, and because it just rammed up, imagine 5,000 years more than that, still there. Now even in our villages also, around the villages, we find them a lot here. If you go surrounding of Hyderabad, we seen this, and then they have a rammed up, and the roofing system is done in stone. So coming back, and then next is, of course, these are the things. This is a method they use it, and this is how the sections and all. So we can use pigments and all here to make it, where you can have apply up to 4 feet. That's coming back. I mean, this is what the technology is all about. We have done this project in Chennai long back, more than 15 years back. This is this is a small kitchen where adjacent to that it's in a forest where we had toilets to the one side of it and the kitchen to the other side of it. This is what. मैं थोड़ी देर पॉइंटर समझ रहा हूँ इसे. हाँ, so पॉइंटर है क्या? पॉइंटर है क्या? ठीक है. Anyway, yeah. This is a rammed earth which we have done in a tapered way, where inside there is a straight wall, and then this is around 2 feet is the panel thing. We had this after 2 feet of ramming it. Keep it for a day, and then you shift the shuttering to the next level, and then do it. So, and on this, actually, we had used a fabrication, but here after curing for 3 days, I think you can cast the slab. I mean, this is a technique which is people have used it long. And this is a ferro cement, as everyone knows. This is one of those techniques in 1950s when a person called, of course, his name Joseph. He has done it, and this is one of the famous buildings in India. This is designed by B.B. Doshi and M.F. Hussain. It's called Gufa in Ahmedabad. The structural engineer is a good friend of mine. His name is Rangarao. He's a Professor Rangarao. He practices in Hyderabad and visiting faculty in JNTU, Masaptang. He is a structural engineer for that. He was working with Doshi those days. So these things all, these are the columns where, this is not a column actually, this is a mesh, and then the concrete is being applied with the hand. So this is where Doshi's work is around. And this is a basic technique. This is one of the images to tell you the limitation and the scope what we find with this material. You can actually make dance the way you like it. I mean, it turns, as you see in the earlier thing, this is in the Mediterranean places and all. This is showering. What we have done is in Chennai. See, this is how this is how a wall is being constructed. We want to have this kind of effect. So this is a mesh which goes and turns like this, and of course anchored to the slab. And slowly then we start having a chicken mesh applied on that, and then this is how you end up the product, you finish this kind of a thing. This is what, I'm just telling you about what the material is and how it has been applied before and what we tend to do it now. Next, अच्छा मैं खुद ठीक है. So this is again, these are the images of our project here. We are doing in Dundigal. This is a resort. I'll show you the video once the whole thing is there. You can see a walkthrough. So this is this is a clubhouse. This is a farmhouse for one of my clients called Dr. Kranti. He's an orthopedician and his father is a. So this is here we have 3 things involved. One is a regular construction, conventional construction, as well as the roofing and all is done in ferro cement. I'll show you the images later. This is a ferro cement, and these things, the curved walls and all what we see, Here, this wall. This curved walls are printed in 3D with a machine which is a pneumatic machine which can print up to 4 meters at a time. And there's a small swimming pool in the middle. There's a pool and everything, so very organically formed. This is a small, same project where we have, this is called Yoga Shala. There's a 40-feet dome, and the whole 40 feet dia is the dome, okay? And then we have, the entire thing is getting it done with the brick, naturally. So the guys are, of course, guys are from Auroville, Pondicherry. These guys are involved in doing it. You have an entrance where you get through, and then we have a lot of yogic poses there. And there's a skylights. And there's right in the middle of it, there's a fountain which we got it. I don't have the images, but it is 7 feet height, rock, 3 feet by 3 feet. So that's a fountain where you have a drill inside and the water comes out for the sound of water to do the yoga and all, it's a little peaceful. And all sides, 12 sides it has. All 12 sides, we have a nice view. And we're getting it landscaped. Okay, next. So this is how, so the water which is coming right in the center, it has a channel which goes, which is 30 feet away, where it drips there. This is a styrofoam thing where you have a thermocol, we call it, and then you have a mesh that is a mesh with 3 mm and 2 inch by 2 inch is a grid. The panels comes under 4 feet by 10 feet. The advantage with these things are, you can construct or you can actually get it done. And 1500 SFT is the area, suppose. So for that, all these panels, you need to have CRS work done, and then on that, the plinth beam, and then the rods, 8 mm rods at 8 mm spacing. After spacing, and then you insert the panel, 10 feet panel in that, and then you stitch it with the binding wire. So 4 feet panel, it goes on. The entire thing takes 1 week to do a 1500 SFT house. So then you erect this, even the slab is done in the styrofoam, same thing. The maximum span you can have it is 4 feet by 16 feet. I have done a lot of things, I think more than 50 works I have done with this. After Corona, people want to move away from the city. So people had small, 500 square yards, 1,000. So they want, and it's a disease, that viral thing, it was so bad. So people want to, as soon as the fastest thing they can do is just move out. So we used to finish houses in 2 months, flat. It takes 2 weeks to erect the entire skeleton and then the slab, and then you short screeding it with the concrete, baby chips and all. So this is the panel, and I have a lot of information. Sai will be distributing the brochures to them, so you can have it more liberally. So it has best thing about thing is that the kind of steel which goes, the cost effective, it's not cost effective at all, but the time, it's only the time which makes you comfortable with, because the kind of steel which goes in a conventional building, it goes in the same way here, because it goes like a mesh here. The steel is the amount of the steel which goes. So when this is the best part about this is when it is done, so it becomes an integrated chassis. Chassis, when you have a car where, so nothing can be damaging as such. I'll show you the images later, next page. These are the information. So this is one project we have done around 12 years back. This is the first time attempted in 2013. We have done in Moniabad. This is a farmhouse. This is a shower area, open to sky. And and you can imagine this kind of a stone. This is a Sadrali 50 mm is being stuck to it. Glued to the wall. It can take. This styrofoam also takes a WC, wall-mounted WC comfortably, and then above that you can sit 150 kgs, fine, no problem. No, I am only 90. So this is, okay, now this is the thing. This is the first floor actually. So we have erected these panels, and then you can always, wherever you want punchers, you can do the punches for windows and all. And there's no lintel as such here. You can avoid. And then, of course, you can have charjas. I'll show you. So this is the thing. And then you will be having the electrical thing happening, and then you have hooks for the fan. And a lot of things can happen. So this is how the thing is happening, the concreting and all here. Even the staircase is done, something like this. And this is a shuttering where you need only partially 50%. 50% of the shuttering is enough. Conventional building, you need 100%, here 50%. And this is how it is, and this is how it has been secreted. Next. So this is the house, the same house which we have done around 2013. It's in Moinabad. This is how we have done those sketches those days in that. And then later when we finished it, we took a drone picture. So nothing has changed much, but this is been till now 12 years or 13 years down the line. Nothing has happened to it. Nothing, we don't expect anything to happen, but no hair crack, no hairline cracks, nothing. And temperature-wise, definitely 2 degrees, it makes a sense. And on the top of this, we have a flooring done. And the most heaviest flooring was tandoor. So it was 1.5 inch tandoor is the flooring on the top of it. So it can take, and the kind of, we have a slant roofs and then it has been sloping roofs. So this is another house which we are doing in Kollur. And the landlady is architect only. So I happen to design so far in my career, I designed around 6 houses for architects practicing as. So this is,
How was the experience to build a house for an architect?
No, I don't let them speak at all. Because whenever they ask you doubts, you come out with new ideas. So they feel, so anyway, I have done it for father-son combination architects, I have done for them also. That I'll show the image. This is my senior, 1 year senior to me. Her name is Madhavi. She's an architect. But it's nice that, she consumed the work very well and then she started believing that it is being done by her only. मैं कभी-कभी याद दिलाता हूँ यार आप ये मैंने किया है. So it is very funny thing. So this is a staircase, sorry. So, and being a lady, it is very difficult to convince them. But I told her husband that, it's me only, I have done it. She is ready to pay fees and all, not a problem. So this is, what we have done here is, these are the stones. Instead of taking a column, you can take a column of 6 inches by 6 inches, that is 150 by 150, and then you can have rods welded to it and, combined with the slab, and then you can score. So we have used stone, Sadarili stone, which is here, a receipt. So this is the stone where we have used it, and then on the top we had a cap, a metal cap. All these 3 things, the cap sits on that, and then we had a format where it has been MS frame has been done here, like this one. So now it is in a finishing stage now, probably. Next, yeah. So this is one house we have done in Shankarpalli. This is again a styrofoam. This is a farmhouse which is around 3,500 SFT. You have a pool in the center of it. This is a pool here. And this is a front. We have a video, I can show you the video later. And imagine once we see, because even while doing a 3D, the thickness of this, whatever the span is, 16 feet is the maximum span, and height you can go up to 20 feet, where you can have a slab. And the thickness of after plastering and all, it comes to around 6 inches. And the only problem here is, you see, when you do a electrical layout, so you need to induce a conduit. So there's a method, there's a heat rod which they apply it so that the thermocol actually, melts. So the particular thickness goes into it and then you put the box. After, if you want any modification, it is quite difficult because you tend to see the stain mark about it. So, now this is the thing. Of course, now it has been completed. I have the later images also. So this is how, yeah. So this is how the panel is here. So if you want to use like a column, it can be 1 feet. 1 foot, it can be where you can take the support of the slab. Cantilever, you can do it up to 6 feet. And this is how, after putting it out, of course, this is a naked panel, as you can see. The entire length is only one piece. So here, it can be custom made also. And the next image is, see, this is how, after finishing the thing, just painting and all. So that is how the image is here. So there's hardly any change. When you see a 3D format, there's no surprises at all. It comes exactly the way we look at it. And the maximum thing here is ground plus 3, you can build it. These are the panels, and I have used other way of doing it. In apartment, we have a normal conventional thing, concrete and a slab. External walls, rather brickwork, but internal panels, there's one more panel which comes. This is a 2-inch by 2-inch panel grid. For a non-load member, it is around 4 inches by 4 inches. So it can be used as in an apartment. You can actually put it. You can close the whole thing in a day. When you want to do a 3,000 SFT flat, the internal walls can take only just 1.5 days to finish it. And then, of course, short screeding, the concrete will take another 3-4 days. So there's a lot of applications. You can actually put it in an angle. We are doing vaults with this. I'm doing one project in Vizag called Etikupaka is a toys, okay, for their office. Etikupaka is a toys made in Vizag. So for their office, I'll show you that as image. Now, this is again a 3D printing. This is such a fantastic material. In Hyderabad, I'm using for styrofoam also is something. In 2013, I'm the first one to use it. I don't take pride in it, but first one to use it. Later, more than 50 works have been done. Now, this is again, we are doing it first time here in Hyderabad. We have 3 projects here. One is, I showed you, one is in Dundigal, the curved things. If you start building these things, normally there's no point, because once the material, every material has their scope and limitations, but how far we exploit them is up to us. And then this is something where to build a 4-meter wall, a typical 1500 SFT house, it takes 4 days, the entire wall. You can leave the doors, you can leave the windows, and everything. So it comes in 4 meters just in 4 or 5 days. And of course, the slab is a conventional slab, load-bearing thing. Here, the wall thickness is, in the styrofoam, the wall thickness is 5 inches. Here, it is 7 inches. So 7 inches goes like this. It's like 2 inches is a concrete, and then 2 inches is a space, and then 2 inch is again a concrete. So every 1 foot, we have a crossbars to binding it, both the things. So in a day, you can only do 1 meter height, because we can't exceed more than, because the weight of the concrete, it will buckle. So we need to do only for 1 meter and then leave it. And all these are services. It's nothing very easy. Like, have you ever seen jalebi maker? Something very jalebi kind. So this is not my project. It is their project. It is in L&T building in Pune. They have done it. We have this kind of thing. It is, the lines you can see, the thickness of the line is 1 inch. So it goes, you can have nice texture and all. This is a technical information. If someone wants to go through, I'll see. This is how the thing is. This is our project here. We're doing it in Pollachi here. So this one is where we exploited doing a parametric. Suppose you have, the best part is it just goes straight. If it's only computer thing, the best part about the whole thing is that you don't require staff. You don't require a staff, the staff to draft it. You don't make any working drawings for it, because no need to have a printout. Working drawing is itself, when you feed it, the whole machine will take care of it. And this is so this is how parametric and all. This is a small office has been done here. So it goes on. Next. This is a container thing which we have done, 3-4 projects with these things. This is what they have. This is not my projects, okay? I'll show you. So this is one project where we are doing it. There are two containers here. And then on the above, we had this. Interiors, we have done the paneling, and then we have this bagazi boards happening. So this is the damaged part of a container. Each container costs around 2 lakhs. Coming from Chennai, it goes to 2 lakhs. So it is only 6 lakhs. You finish with 6 lakhs, you have a naked area of 960 SFT, almost close to 1,000. And this is a high cube, we call it. It comes in 20 feet length and 40 feet length. And this is high cube. High cube in the sense we have 9.5 feet is the clear height. So it's close to the normal buildings what we see. So this is the same thing, images of what the structure what you have seen. So this is the same thing where this is a container there, this is a container. So this is 20-foot container. We divide into half. That is 20 feet by 8 feet is what the space what you get for a bedroom. That's enough. And that we have like 4 of that kind. So this is a small screen over here where the wall, and then from the pool we can see these are 2 bedrooms here, 2 bedrooms here, you jump out, and this is how from it looks. So when we have a container, the above container we have offsetted by 8 feet. So these things have come as a balconies. So the chajjas for the container, this you have the container doors, you have it. 2 big metal doors. So we have removed those doors and kept it as a chajjas for here. Here you can see this. This GFRC is another panels what I was explaining you. It has thickness of 150, and then it is also glass reinforced fiber concrete. So one of the finest material, and this is also very in terms of time and all, it is more effective. And it is most economical thing in terms, for the construction thing. 3D printing per SFT, a naked building costs around something like 1850 to 1900. Styrofoam will cost around 1700. Conventional construction, styrofoam will cost around 1600. Conventional thing costs around 1450 nowadays, what with the RCC, regular RCC columns, brick plastering. So these rates are like from the foundation to the plinth beam to the columns to the slab, brickwork and plastering, both sides, waterproofing. So this is the cost for all those things. And the time factor, conventional building will take nearly 9 to 1 year. Thermocol will take 1.5 months. 3D printing will take 1 month exactly. And things like rammed earth and all, we can't say the time. So this is how we can, so when you can always have this, customized, this is all made in factory. It will be coming in a thing, and then you need to have a crane. Even the slabs also be done. You can actually do 5 floors with this. So this is, of course, I don't want to. This is a Porotam brick. I've done it for one architect, father, son. So these are the details where we have done the whole thing in steel. So we have made sure that we cut it like this and then we fuse it. So no one can actually see the main structure. Once it is finished, now this is finished. So we have used tiles, we have used. So this is how it has become. This is their office actually, both father and son's architect office in this one. So this is how the ceiling, of course, interiors have been done later. And that's how the extent. Videos now. Where is it? Yeah, play. You play one. I'll show you one. I'll show you one. The was ferro cement and 3D printing. I'll show you the video, but actually the project is happening now in Dundigal. ఇచ్చారా దోశలు ఇచ్చారా దోశలు ఇచ్చారా Yeah, no. Where is 3D?
Chairperson, sir.
కాదు ఇప్పుడు ప్లాన్స్ ఇదేనా ఫైల్ అసలు ఇప్పుడు ఇందాక
పంపించిన పీడిఎఫ్ డైరెక్ట్ కంటిన్యూ చేస్తారు సార్. ఈ ల్యాప్టాప్ కొంచెం ప్రాబ్లమ్ సార్.
अच्छा मैं वही सोच रहा था इसमें ज़्यादा नहीं है. मैं भिजाया ना आपको भाई क्यों लगा दिया उसको लगा दिया तो उसके बाद और एक प्रिपेयर करा तो वही देख रहा था इसमें हाफ ऑफ द इन्फॉर्मेशन है वो क्यों लगा दिया इसलिए नहीं भिजाना था. मैं आप जल्दी भिजाऊँ तो भिजा दिया. This is styrofoam. కాదు ఇప్పుడు आल्टरनेटिव टेक्निक्स ये था पहले डिफरेंट टाइप आर्किटेक्ट्स हैं डिफरेंट. मैं बोला उसको निकालो भाई ऑल्टरनेटिव टेक्निक्स बताओ. एनी वेल जस्ट रश इट फास्ट. आई प्रिपेयर. अरे भाई नहीं खुल रहा भाई ये. नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट. नहीं इतना कोशिश करा थोड़ा दिखाओ. अरे नहीं ये पूरा निकालो थोड़ा ऐड करा भाई. आई जस्ट वांट टू शो देम. See why I'm saying here, why insisting on this. This is the layout we have done for the Dundigal thing. So when I've seen, so initially thought of doing a conventional thing, but when we come across this material, I mean the 3D printing, so we opted now going for a 3D printing. Now this is happening with 3D printing, and the roofing system is ferro cement. So this is the ground floor and the first floor. All these curves are done in 3D printing. All the peripheral wall curves, everything. And the roofing is done in, and of course this is a swimming pool. It's a bio pool actually. So there is nothing like you get down into, jump into the pool, actually you walk into the pool. And this is a gym for them, and a small gymnasium where we are doing again with 3D printing. Here, how do we, because the span is around 40 feet is this thing, so the machine doesn't come. So what we have done is, we are going to print like this. There's a window here, there's a door here, there's this half. Split that into half, मूंगफली का जैसा. इसको आधा प्रिंट करो पहले, या होने का इसको प्रिंट कर दो. कहाँ देखना चाह रहे हैं? या you can go anytime. He's a close friend, the doctor. When उसका father is very close friend of mine. जब उसका घर बनाना था 2005 में, ये छोटा बच्चा था, स्कूल को जाके आता था. अभी बड़ा हो गया, डॉक्टर बन गया. अभी ये he is now डॉक्टर तो छोड़ दिया, मगर he is doing all these things. Now this is happening now. I mean just footing has come, but the other thing, the earlier one has up to the first slab it has come. So ये वीडियो आता है क्या ये? इसीलिए बोला लास्ट में लगाओ. The walls have been done in cement, plain micro topping. fine and done in wax. Later, do waxing on that, so it's a reflective surface. Even the flooring is also the same. Here, mostly, there's nothing like interiors where it is a different skin altogether. We have integrated the whole thing with the form itself. So, like the other skin, we call it interior architecture, there's nothing like that. It has been integrated in one. फिर से वो पहले बार जाओ. हाँ? Next, ये मेरे हाथ में ना. हाँ, तो ये था. देखो, short skirting is done like that. Concrete, you know. One of our sides. No, I just, yeah, यार, कहाँ गया? Yeah, now I'll explain this fast. These are the wall panel areas and this is how the structure is there. This is a project in Medchil. And the entire project, from here to here, it took only 3 months. And it was around 1600 SFT. It's a farmhouse for one of my clients, Riani. So this is styrofoam advantages. And then one more thing, we have done one more biggest farmhouses, 16,000 SFT. And that was done around to 7 months time. I'll show you. This is Gland Pharma. This is a 3D model what we have done in the office. They wanted something like a castle and all. So I don't mind doing such stuff also. I'm not particular about anything. So I can do anything. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं. So short skirting again, same thing, reinforcement. What I want to show you is तो अभी आ गया. So these are the तो पहले था वो 3D था. अब ये खत्म होने के बाद 7 महीने के बाद ये हालत है. And it's been done it has been 4 years now. It has around 12 bedrooms. One of the biggest projects. But the time frame was very nice. It was 7 months. And this is a kund which they made it. And then these are the rooms inside. It has a double height. You know? This is 24 feet. It's a slab. And of course, this is the other one. I have shown you this one. This is what we are doing again with the styrofoam. It's in Vizag. This is the office of Etikupaka office. This is 3D printing. And this is how we can exploit parametric forms in this. We are trying to do this a parametric form again. This is what it is about. See here, now this is what the layout we have done for Coimbatore. This is a wellness thing. So because of the limitation of that material, if suppose you want to do it conventionally, it would take more than a year for a single building. But we want to finish 70 buildings. So this is a thing where even the straight wall, whatever it may be, it will take only 4 days. In 4 meters, 4 days. This is the first floor. This is a 3 BHK east. So this is the first and ground first. These are the forms. Now here this is done in SketchUp thing and all, but actually we should do it in Rhino. So when you do it in Rhino, we're going to have a parametric forms here. So I showed you one of those spots now. So if it can circulate, you can feel it. So what happened there is, I can show you. So you can feel it. घंटी किसका बजा? 2 minutes के लिए. So this is a parametric thing where you can follow it. So you can create any kind of drama with it. So this is again same layout. We are doing it in this format where the edges have been curved. And this is how the 3D comes in. Of course, This is the thing how the panels come in, which I have not shown it in the earlier part of it. We are doing it in Shankarpalli, this one. It's around 280 villas. We are doing it in GRC. It is also one of the fastest technologies where, so this is the, yeah, Khatam. हो गया भाई? Asik do. And one more thing.
Sir.
Sorry. For anyone, that styrofoam, if you want to learn, you want to know about more of information, he'll give you the brochures. Are there?
The brochures.
You can. There.
How many copies do you have, sir?
Oh, 150.
Actually, since we have a lot of faculty also from various colleges, we would request the faculty to collect the brochures. So you can use it in your own colleges also. So we would request the faculty to kindly raise their hands because this is the styrofoam brochure which is being shared.
Yeah, you can visit sites. आप कौन जाने जाते हैं भाई? ट्रेन मंगाएंगे एक ट्रेन होना चाहिए नहीं if anyone please contact me I'll share the address I'll tell the people to their supervisors so that they can take you हाँ cool drink भी arrange करूँ क्या sandwich cool drink भी arrange करना है drink है पानी ठीक है. But I have, in case after all the presentation, I have all those videos also. If you want to see, you can, because there are 5-6 videos of other materials also. We can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. A big round of applause for Sridhar Reddy, sir, because he has taken out time and spoken about something which is very, very unconventional. And especially when you hear about technologies and that too alternative technologies, you feel that something like this is not happening in Hyderabad, or we are not aware about this technology. But sir has proven us completely wrong, and we get to know about a lot of architectural buildings which is coming up and how best interiors and exteriors can be integrated together. As if at all you people would ever want to pay a site visit or you want to know more about materials, you can always contact Sridhar Reddy, sir, and us also for that matter, and we'll be able to help you people through. So, taking further, or the second speaker of this event is the architect Meghna Dulani Gehenwar. Landscape became, or rather happened by chance, is what Meghna says. And I'm sure at the age of 15, very few of us would think about architecture, and that was the kind of thought process she had. At the age of 15 itself, she always aspired to be an architect. So she did her B.Arch degree from CSIIT Hyderabad. She stepped out into the wonderful world of design, gaining experience with various firms in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Her studio is named the Pinewood Studio. It opened its doors in the year 2015 with its sole aim to reimagine the sphere of landscape design. So as how you have seen alternative technologies in the, from the first speaker, the second one talks about landscaping and how it is well integrated into the interior design. Meghna has a bug in the bone for travel, exploring new places and food, and yes, she surely loves to cook. She is further mentioned about her better half, her husband also, that he loves to host. So ever, like, just in case you would ever want to visit her office, she is more than welcome. Like, she's inviting us with open arms. Being a dog mom, her love for animals and in particular dogs takes front seat. She actively volunteers for Devon's Hope, a clinic for abused and abandoned dogs. She is mastered in luxury residences, pan-Asian restaurants and cafes in Hyderabad. Bending material to perform beyond their limit is what they thrive and take pride in. Tropical lush green has been the plant palette that Pinewood Studio tries to always achieve. Put your hands together to welcome the next speaker, architect Meghna Dulani Gehenwar.
लगा लीजिए.
Hello, am I audible? Yeah, okay.
ये पॉइंट करने के लिए
Okay.
ये आगे जाने का, ये पीछे.
Okay. Video? Okay. Hello everybody, I am Meghna Dulani Gehenwar and I am the founder and principal architect at the Pinewood Studio. So our firm excels in landscape design and we thrive in curating spaces that one would have not imagined or not seen. We predominantly are into landscaping luxury residences, but yes, we are now also working with leading builders and construction companies in doing high-rise structures and gated communities. So yeah, this is, I don't know if you guys have passed through road number 10. This is the restaurant, Taro. It's a Pan-Asian restaurant that we have designed. We are partners in the company and partners in real life. Me and my husband run the Pinewood Studio. I take care of the design front, and my partner Shashwat Gehenwar takes care of the operational front. So yeah, I think we would like to call ourselves match made in heaven in real life and at work. So we would briefly like you to understand what landscape is all about. A few years ago, before the company was started, while I was freelancing, my father had actually met one of his clients. He's into solar energy and all, and he had pitched me into the project. And the client, his client had said, क्या वो पेड़ पौधे लगाती है? And then my father was like, हाँ जी वो पेड़ पौधे लगाती है. So that was the day I actually decided that I will change the narrative of landscape architects and I will ensure that people visualize the space much, much beyond than what actually can happen. So in terms of how we work as a studio, we'll take you through the entire process because landscape as a subject is pretty niche, and I am very happy and I'm very proud that it is actually opening up to a lot of people. A lot of students are actively taking part in studying landscape architecture as course, doing masters in it. So here I am here to explain it to you that what actually happens in a landscape design firm. So we start off with something called lifestyle questionnaire because everybody is not exposed to the concept of landscape, how it functions, how it works. We have curated a questionnaire of about 40 questions wherein we ask the client what exactly are you going to use your outdoor space for, to a question that it also says ki whether you are going to put your feet up or feet down and sit in your garden space. We go to that kind of depth. We ask them where is your trash can going to be placed. We ask them, are you a morning person or an evening person? How much time do you like to spend in your outdoor spaces? So we go in that much depth to actually understand how our client is going to use their outdoor space, which actually tingles their brains to imagine, oh, I actually can use this space like this and like that. So then they come up with ideas saying, oh no, I actually want a day bed, or I actually want a swing. I actually would love to have a fireplace. If they have small kids, I would love to have a small play area for my kids. If the lady loves to host parties, I would love to have a small corner where I can host brunches for my friends. So we are actually pushing them to think beyond paid paudhe, like I said, So what can you use your outdoor space for? So that is the questionnaire that we go through. That is the first and foremost thing that we have with client, which derives us to the design brief as to what exactly the landscape space is going to look like. Then we move to the next step, which is called lookbook or a mood board, wherein we have lots of reference images that we present to the client to show, is this how you're visualizing your space? Is this how you're visualizing your backyard or your front or your parking area or your courtyard? Depends on how the architect has designed. So we keep in mind the architectural style of any project that we take, and we take it forward from there. We don't detach ourselves as, you know, this landscape is going to look like this or this landscape is going to look like that. No, we take the brief from architects and then we ensure that while the project is finished, it looks like a single team has designed the entire project and it doesn't look like two different architectural houses have designed the project. So the lookbook also goes to the architects for their feedback, and we ensure that client feedback and architectural feedback is incorporated in the design. Then we move to 2D layouts, wherein we do the spatial planning, how the entire space is going to look like, coming to the dimensions, coming to how much is the hardscape versus how much is the softscape area. So we ensure that the clients understand how much of it is going to be a green pocket and how much of it is going to be a constructed pocket. When I say hardscape, it involves civil work, it involves stones, it involves fabrication, it involves water bodies. So a lot of things goes into that, versus how much is the green patch. So there are some clients who like more of green and very less of hardscape, versus some clients are like, no, we want less maintenance, or we want more of hardscape and less of green pocket. We then move to 3D modeling, wherein we have a lot of back and forth with the clients. We do it on SketchUp, and then we finally render it on Lumion to show our clients this is what they can expect, and that is not the 100% thing, because a lot of changes happen while you're, you know, progressing as how the site goes. But that is the expectations that are set with the clients, ki this is what the final outcome can look like. We then move to working drawings. We have separate slides for that, so I'll explain you. So in terms of our design philosophy, the first and foremost thing we follow is nothing is impossible. We have stretched our limits so much that now if we imagine a design, we don't have to worry about whether it is going to be possible to execute or not. So that is something we all as a team strongly believe in, that go ahead, design, spread your wings, imagine the wildest, the weirdest design that you can come up with. We will ensure that we execute it. And we also follow a lot of team-centric approach, wherein we have a lot of team discussions in office. We push our team to come up with ideas. We promote them to come up with ideas. It's not like, you know, we as bosses are going to ensure, oh no, you have to do this. No, we give them a chance. We give them a chance to come up with their own thought process, and that is how you'll also develop as a person and as a creative mindset. We also love challenging material limits. Like I mentioned, you will see in the presentation how we have pushed materials to another level. There are projects that we have also won awards for and publications like Darshit's Residence and Ganga's Residence. I'll also show that to you. We believe in collaboration. There is no other way forward. Collaboration is what will give you a lot of knowledge, wherein you exchange ideas with the other teams like execution teams and, you know, consultants. We have, once the project is, like once the working drawings are done from our side, we have a lot of consultants that come on board. So we ensure that we take their feedback and incorporate in our drawings, which is why the execution will also come out in a fantastic way, and there will not be any errors or back and forth or leakage issues or whatsoever. Innovative through collaboration, like I explained, is the key for our design house. So here are some of our completed projects that we are going to run through. This is a terrace landscape pocket that we have done in Hyderabad at BNR Hills. And we have curated like an outdoor counter, we have curated dining area. So all these things come after understanding what the client requirement is. This is this entire finished product that you're seeing has gone through multiple iterations, have gone to multiple back and forth in terms of how the material palette can be, the color palette can be, the floor patterns can be. So there is a lot that goes into landscape design. There is a lot that we have to think about. Under all this that you're seeing, there are multiple number of pipelines that are running. Plants need water. There has to be an inlet and there has to be an outlet. For inlet, there is a separate pipeline that comes in. For outlet, there is a separate pipeline that goes out. So there is a lot of interaction that happens between. Why I insist on collaboration is this. How do you achieve this end product without understanding the services, without understanding the implications of your design on reality? This is another residence that again is in Hyderabad, which we have done in one of the gated communities. This is just a 1200 SFT terrace, but we have incorporated elements like these sculptural elements. We have incorporated this pergola detail in it. We have also incorporated a small jacuzzi in it. So there is no limit. Who draws the boundary? It is us. It is our mind who draws the boundary. If you think you can go beyond, if you think you can accommodate so many elements in 1200 SFT, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and push your creativity to achieve it. This has won an award and is also featured in AD. This is a fiber rock that we have put up on the wall. We also incorporated that art installation, and we have incorporated this detail which a lot of people initially said it is not possible. So if you can see this detail, this is a bench wherein we have an angular fascia to it, and the angular fascia has a niche in it with the light. So it was difficult to achieve on site initially when we tried to explain to the execution team, but then finally we did achieve it. This is a project that we have completed in Goa. It's called Oriza. We also won an award, an El Decor award for this project. The outdoor space is in tandem with the architecture. When I say that we take architectural design very seriously, you can see in this. The elements that we incorporated, like the arch on the shower wall, is the same proportion of the arch in the elevation. So the space has to look complete when you're designing. The space has to look like it has been designed by a single team. We have, so Goa as a place is very tricky to work in because of the rains, because of the mud and the stains. So a lot of material restriction has also been there when it comes to this project. It's a commercial project. It's a villa community which is leased to Airbnb. So we need to ensure that it is pick and span at any given point of time because people like spaces to be clean. So we ended up using a lot of tile rather than natural stone, which was a very difficult choice for a landscape architect. But yes, keeping the site in mind, keeping the site location in mind, keeping the adverse effects that climate and weather can have, we chose to go ahead with the tile, but it also looks very neat and very classy. So yeah, these are the renders that we create. This is one of the villas again that we have completed. So a lot of times in the 3D renders, we try to show as much as possible, but yes, when it comes to site, a lot of back and forth happens and things change on site, which you need to understand. Yeah, these are some of the renders, visualizations that we create. Coming to the working drawings. This is very important. This part of the presentation is very important for you guys because you are going to be stepping out into the real world, and you need to know that a lot of efforts go into curating working drawings. So yeah, so this is the kind of format that we follow in office in terms of how we explain the layouts to the client, how we come up with the forms for landscape, how the creative format of landscape takes over the hardscapes of, the sites. These are execution drawings where you need to give each and every detail. Whether this is of a pool. Yes, this is of the pool. So the pool is the most trickiest part of any of our project because it involves water, and water is very, very challenging to handle. So we need to ensure that all the right kind of services are incorporated when it comes to water bodies or pools. Yeah, so these are some working, they look, like when I see from far, they look too much to absorb, but yes, we have to do it for the site teams to execute. And this is the plantation layout that we give to the site. So this is the last bit of drawing that goes from our side. Before this, all the services, civil work, finishes, that entire set is released to the site. Yeah. So we follow the concept of layering, like we follow a lot of tropical planting palette, and we also follow the concept of layering wherein we have 3 to 4 layers depending upon the space that is available at a site. We follow tree planting layer, we follow mid planting layer, and then we follow shrub and ground cover layer. And that is how you make the space look nice and lush. This is the fabrication drawing for Taro. It is the pergola at Taro had a lot of different angles and planes. So a lot of it can be shown on drawing, but I think for that project we stood the maximum hours on site to achieve the form of that pergola that we did at that site. Yeah, these are all fabrication drawings, how we create color indication, how we create grid planning. Yeah, this is Taro. So all these were created as separate planes, and then they all came together. We also had to ensure that the water doesn't fall onto the visitors who are sitting there and enjoying their meal. So a lot of science and technicality went into achieving this structure that we created. I think you guys will understand we are clearly obsessed with boulders, because yes, there is another boulder on the wall that is hung up, and this is a real boulder. This weighed somewhere around 3 tons, something like that. Yes, and it came all the way from Pondicherry. So we had structural members inbuilt. This is a servant quarter wall, and then we highlighted this entire area with a stone cladding and created like a nice seating. This element that you see right here is standing just on one beam support at the back. There are no columns in the front, and there are 3 layers to this pergola. So we worked with Zaki sir, who is a really great structural engineer, again from Hyderabad. And initially he was like, you go away from here, this is not possible, don't waste my time. But then yes, after a lot of follow-up, a lot of pleading, we were like, please, let's just achieve it, let's try to focus on achieving it. And we also have a curtain waterfall that is integrated into this back panel. So as you can see, there are no columns in the front, and the weight is entirely onto this horizontal beam and the columns behind. This is an actor's party pad. This is his terrace. We have again designed a structure here which incorporates his movie names into this pergola. So when the sun is right on top, the shadow that it creates here are of his movies. And he keeps adding, as and how when the movie releases, he adds the name again. So this was a COVID project. One of his movies had released during that time, and the launch of the movie, he did it from this place. So as you can see, we have given 2 seating areas here. These are stepped seating areas, and this is the window that looks into his home theater. So they were all seated here, and they had like a really good launch session from this side. Drawings is one part, designing is one part of landscape. execution is entirely a different ball game in itself. You have to coordinate with multiple teams, you have to coordinate with multiple consultants to actually achieve what you have designed and transform it onto the site. So the process that we follow for site execution, so we do not take up site execution as a company, but we coordinate with external consultants and ensure that what we have designed transforms into reality. In our recent most site visit to Goa, we explored the site conditions, we checked the existing trees that were part of the site. We also ensured that we take a note of all the level differences that are existing on site and how much filling is required. We ensure that the slopes are accounted for so that in the rains of Goa, there is no water stagnation at any given point of time. The courtyards are checked and scheme of plantation is also thought of. Northeast point of the site is very important to ensure that the rainwater harvesting pit is incorporated. Pool location and pool depths are checked, considering that northeast has to be lowest. The view from indoor to outdoor is very important and hence placement of the pool is discussed as well. Entry and drop-off points along with driveway is discussed as well. So this is the first stage. When we visit the site, we need to ensure if the client is following Vastu, that is very particular. You ensure where your north is, where your northeast is. Check your levels, check for any existing elements on site. Trees are the first and foremost element that we take a note of being landscape architect. Apart from that, the slopes, the terrain, the contour plan, everything needs to be checked in your first site visit. Then post that, once the entire working drawing set is done from office, the first step that we follow on site is marking. We insist a lot on marking. As you can see, this is how the markings are done on our site. They do it with a single brick line. This helps us educate the client as to how his space is going to turn out, how much of the space is being used for construction, how much of the space is being used for softscape. So they can physically see how the forms are going to come up on site, and at this stage, if they require any changes, they are incorporated in the drawings. This gym is located in Jubilee Hills, which is a very prime area in Hyderabad. We have a large frontage to play with, wherein there are going to be luxury cars parked and also some outdoor seating. We have designed the space to be a very luxury outdoor landscape, which will look very inviting. Also showing you the top view wherein we have taken... I'm so sorry, something happened with the audio. Dumbbells to get these organic forms for planters. There is a lot of detailing coming up, and we are... Okay, so what I was trying to explain here is we derived the concept of planters keeping dumbbells in mind. So this is a luxury gym that has just completed in Hyderabad. So the forms that you can see are inspired by dumbbells. So those elements were also, like the flooring pattern, if you can see, had curves, and the planters also had a lot of organic form to it. This is a project that we completed in Dubai. So even there we ensured that we got the marking done and the client had the exact output. So this is the web that gets created when I explain about inlet and outlet for plants. That's the kind of web that gets created on site. When we are creating planters on slab level, we need to ensure that proper rainwater and plant water drain is incorporated. Plantation on site is the most exciting part of landscape design. When the site reaches the stage of plantation, we are all geared up and present on site to ensure that all the placements are rightly done. We also ensure that any gaps, any fillers required are immediately communicated to the planting team so that once the plant is planted in earth and soil, there is no movement because they are tender at this point of time, and any movement of plantation will unnecessarily leave them in shock. So this is how the entire site is currently looking with loads of plants, and we absolutely love this moment on site. Yeah, it's very messy. And right after this, it looks so beautiful once the plants are planted, once the floorings are clean. It just completely transforms the space. This is an experience center that we have done. It's called Trilite, again in Hyderabad. This is a sculptural element that we incorporated in one of our sites. That was a very small video. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. This is a render, and that's how the site execution is going on. This is a 3D render, and that's a real image of a completed project. Yes, so tips for all the young designers who are present here, who are all set to conquer the Hyderabad market. Please ensure that you pick up some of these tools and incorporate in the way of your working when you join the architectural firm that you are looking forward to.
Just like the
We would also love to have some interns from this college if the professors approve. So there's a small video that one of our interns, few of our interns had made and gifted it to us.
It designs experiences over just designing structures, which result in amazing visual melange. The studio is very interactive, and we had a lot of moments where we have laughed our hearts out.
We would thank Meghna ma'am, Shashwat sir and the whole team for giving us the opportunity to serve as an intern at the Pinewood studio. Also, we would thank Nikhil sir for being the backbone and getting the best out of us. We have gained valuable insights into the landscape. The Pinewood studio is a place where concepts come into reality, where we had been given responsibilities from the first start of our internship, which made us responsible and committed towards work.
At the same time, all our seniors, including Shashwat sir and Meghna ma'am, ensured that the pressure was balanced out with light and happy moments. Kanchan ma'am helped us manage stress levels with game activities and color therapy, which was a very new experience for us.
Because of the opportunities given to work on various projects, we had a chance to observe and learn numerous aspects of landscape, from creating designs to executing them. The internship has definitely increased our interest in landscape. The work done by the Pinewood studio is getting the human tribe one step closer to the nature, giving the true essence and value of Mother Earth. We would love to stay in touch and will cherish these memories forever.
Any questions? Any of the young minds have any questions regarding landscape? Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meghna. A bigger round of applause for architect Meghna. So this is another avenue altogether, landscaping, and she made sure that it is done to a student's perspective, where it is just not the design or the pictures that you should be happy about, but finally the working drawings and the execution, which plays a very important role. So thank you so much, Meghna, for your insight. And please keep your questions with you, because towards the end of the session, you people can ask few questions to all the three speakers. So anything that is there in your mind, please keep it with you. After the third presentation, we'll have a discussion on that. So our third speaker, last but not the least, is architect Manasa Devbhaktini. And to introduce her, I would like to welcome architect Mendha Naniwadekar.
Thank you, Shashmita. So, I have the privilege of introducing Manasa. Okay, so architect Manasa Devbhaktini, am I pronouncing rightly? Okay. So she is the founder and principal architect at Arana Architects. Architect Manasa is an architect with over a decade of experience and practicing primarily at Hyderabad. She is a trained Bharatnatyam dancer and trained under Guru late Sri Hema Malini Arani. As a student of architecture and a fresh architect, she was mentored under late Sri Vishnu Ponappa for nearly a decade. So she strongly believes that design gives divinity and dignity to all the users. So her design philosophy is as follows. Her core ideology is the belief in the act of dharma, that is to offer her professional services with empathy and taking ownership as the most essential aspect. She tries to balance her work on the pillars of sustainability, functionality, and exclusivity. Her works have a common language, that is combination of simplicity, utility, conceptual elegance, and beauty, while factoring energy efficiency, cost effectiveness, and sustainability. Her academic qualifications, to begin with, she graduated as an architect in 2008 from BMS College of Engineering, Bengaluru. Apart from that, there are many courses she underwent. Prominent are interior designs for hotel from Milan. And there are multiple further courses, high-level courses she attended regarding the green building and the energy-efficient designs, which she herself will introduce. There are many multiple recognitions that are given to her, and there are many of them. I'll just read few of them. The most prominent is Global Young Leaders Conference, in which she represented India, traveled to US with a small team and attended sessions at UN headquarters, International Monetary Fund, and few other global institutions. She was also selected as one of the architects and interiors in IIID, and which is India's top 50 under 40 architects all over India. And that many awards she got through IIID HRC design, and all of them are in different spaces like commercial, residential, and public space category, and also office category. All these categories she won the awards. So I welcome Manasi, please come. Manasa, I'm sorry.
Thank you, ma'am, for such kind words. But I'm also going to take you a little behind architecture as well, because I just want you all to know what it takes to even probably entrepreneurship, or how to handle a team, and I'm just going to touch upon a lot of aspects and how I have had some strong influences, a lot of people who made a lot of difference in my life. I am an architect also because of a person. From not knowing what architecture was, apart from probably writing it in a school exam in one of the higher grades, when we're talking about culture or something, at the age of, I put this picture because we rarely have this opportunity to place a picture of ours from college. The good old times, and I'm hoping and I'm assuming all you guys are in that phase right now. make the most out of it. This was our classroom in Bangalore. Like I said, when I was 16, I met this gentleman. My parents set out to engage an architect and happened to hear about him in one of their social events. So I walked into his office. This was in old Bangalore, Baswangudi. Not knowing a single thing, apart from the word architecture, I knew nothing, honestly. I sat through the meeting. It was an intense 2-hour meeting. I think that was the change. That was the, I made a decision. The reason I put up this picture is when I climbed up the stairs, I knew nothing. Those 2 hours, when I climbed down, I made a decision. I'm going to do architecture. I'm going to do it in the same college as Vinu did it. And I'm going to work with him. These 3 things I was sure of. Luckily, I had taken up maths as well in our PU, I think, which was of an advantage, which I suggest all the younger kids today, which gave me a gateway to architecture. Else, we would not be having that opportunity. The reason I'm going here, my parents are from Andhra. The reason I say gratitude to my father for letting me step out of his comfort zone, that is out of Hyderabad, and letting me go there and study for many years. I went to a brilliant school. Again, why I'm picking this up before architecture is because wherever we have an opportunity to, develop a personality or pick up inspirations, keep it open. It's not too late, even if you're students of architecture, 4th and 5th. There's so many allied fields to architecture. Just keep your ears open to and your eyes open to things. I was always pushed myself to cross the boundaries, take up responsibilities, which all also helped me with my communication skills. Like ma'am said, this was actually before architecture. This is the last year of school where I was nominated to go for a Global Young Leaders Conference. These are kids all across the globe where we represent, we simulate events, that is the world affairs, and we are like senators. So we actually got to sit in the UN head count, the Security Council on the seats, same seats in New York. I had a little tryst with movies as well. For some reason, I was very young then. I think it was my parents who fancied it. So this was another extension to the art form that I experienced. A couple of Telugu movies and pop album in Mumbai when I went for a vacation. This, I must say, though, to a lot of youngsters today, it might look like, what is this boring art? Guys, I'm telling you, these traditional old art forms are just brilliant when you're the one performing. It has a lot of connection to all the sorts of art forms, which I will be explaining later. 7 years of rigorous training, this taught me discipline, perseverance, resilience, and many, many more. Because now, like, I'm trying to push my daughter. It's been the 2nd year now. She's like, why am I not already performing on stage? I said, it took me 7 years. I know you're in an Insta age now, but then you will need to wait a little more. And this is our college time, my college time. You must be wondering, why is there, why are we near Tank Bund when it's college, Bangalore College, right? So we planned a mass bunk. The professors here, I'm really sorry, don't get influenced by this, but it was all upon me because I am from Hyderabad. So I kept telling them stories about how beautiful our city is. What is this, you guys only think about Bangalore and all of that. So the whole class, we took a train, we were down here, and I told my parents we'll, fill up all the rooms, and we had a very good 3 to 4 days, but faced a lot of punishment back when we went back. And what I did very early on in college was, we used to be done by 2:33. From the 2nd semester onwards, I asked Vinu, because he was already doing work in Hyderabad, I said, just give me 1 or 2 hours of time in your office. And I had this amazing opportunity very early on to work on his further projects in Hyderabad. Later, we went on to put up an office together when I passed out of architecture, where we worked on actor Mahesh Babu's home, producer Rashmi Dutt Garu's both homes, You know, the one standing in MR Boulder Hills, one of the golf points there, in Vignan University. So the list you see are all to do with Hyderabad and Andhra back then. So he gave me this wonderful opportunity. He said, you know what, throw yourself on the field. I'll send you the stuff from here. You represent the firm. So those 2-3 years when I knew nothing but I'm right in front of the firm and my boss is in Bangalore. That's it. That's where I picked up most of it. And I am very thankful again to a few more people in my life. My grandmother and my mother. My mother is still running a business along with my father. My grandmother is probably the reason I could be in Bangalore for 5 years and study, because they were not comfortable sending. I was a picky eater. I was a fussy eater, you know, petite and tiny and all that stuff. I said, no, but that can't stop me. You guys have to figure out something. So I went to her. She raised me, actually. My parents were always busy. I said, I really want to do this, and he's not, you know, okay with me going to Bangalore. She said, you know what, I'm going to come along with you. We'll take a small place, and I'll be with you. So whenever I get an award, it circles back for me. I go and take it back to her. Lucky that she's still around. I try to do is keep nature close to us. You know, these are the collection of fighter fish. They have these beautiful hues and different. In fact, this is only shades of blue and purple, but they have it in reds and green. It's in a small bowl. So what happens is when you wake up in the morning and all you need to do is be a little creative and know how to run the game in the office. Creativity is very, very important in our field. Now, how do you do that? There's a lot of gadgets, everything numbing you guys, numbing us, not just you guys. So I try to keep all of this very close to me. Whenever I travel, I pick up these very cute patterned pebbles across the Mediterranean or the other coast. This is driftwood that whenever we are in Goa or, you know, sort of thing, we try to stuff it into the luggage as much as possible. These are all the things that kind of keep me close to nature in an urban setup. Now, I can't run to a farmhouse or something every day, and neither can I do it over the weekends. So this is the little things that we do. Of course, travel is a great source of inspiration, like for all of us. And this is something else that I realized after having kids is there were a couple of years I couldn't do much because they're quite young. And I said, how? But you can't stop yourself, right? So when I was sitting down with them to do their craft, some of my projects actually have an inspiration from this. Like my daughter was into origami. I will show one of my projects later, which I did after they grew up. Actually has a connection to the way they did art. Like my son was a little more bold in his patterns. She was a little more delicate. I said, you know, all these are also things you observe, small things. These were a couple of courses that I was glad to do with all the family responsibilities as well. I went to Milan for a good course. And then I did a Green Skills Academy course in Bangalore. And we do have some mud homes also, which we've done. We've done a course in that, and we have more clients in Bangalore and Mysuru for that. This is my course in Milan. I'm married to architect Ravi. So what I did, or what was my destiny, was when I went to Bangalore, I bought a bit of Bangalore also back with me in my personal life. He is from Bangalore. He supports me at the back end of the office, and he's into construction in Bangalore, so he shuffles. That's the family and the new additions to the family. The reason I'm also, why I'm doing this personal run with you guys is that for the women out here especially, that we still can do it. Just be wise when you all are choosing your partner. We can still be out there and do the stuff we want. Like these are some of the early works which I did on my own. The reason I'm showing these is also because these maybe don't have the philosophies that I've developed over the years for my firm. These are things that before I established the firm. But I'd like to show you so that you can see a little bit of a gradual journey there. This was through my pregnancy, the early years of raising the kids. And then I founded Arna Architects because unfortunately I lost my mentor to cancer. And then I started off on my own. Until 14, 15, I had the opportunity to work for his projects as well, did my own, which he was very well aware of and encouraged me to do my own projects, which I shared with you now. So one of my readings, this really stuck by me, that these are the simple three principles that we follow. One is Bogadhyam, there is nothing but the usefulness and utility. Sukha Darshanam, which is aesthetics, which is pleasing to the eye. And Ramyam, which is the joy that is within you and the user, that is our client. These are a couple of accolades that some of them are very special. A lot of work went into it. Most of our projects, which you'll be seeing now onwards, which we as a firm also did. Top 50 architects on the age of 40, and we won 3 awards in the same year in IIID is very special for us. These are some of the publications. Like I was talking about how there's a connect with the art forms. I will tell you, this is from one of the old ancient texts called Abhinaya Dharpana. As a dancer, as a performer, Yato hasta tato drishti, which I will translate later. Yato drushti tato manaha. Yato manaha tato bhava. Yato bhava tato rasaha. Yato hasta is where the hand goes, the eyes go. Where the eyes go, the mind goes. Yato manaha, where the mind goes, tato bhava. There is an emotion. And when there is an emotion, there is an experience that is established. So I sincerely suggest all of y'all, don't give up sketching. There is a connect. You know, there's a lot of AI, there's a lot of things that are helping us. We need to use that in our favor, but make sure that there is this physical activity of sketching, because the connection is just amazing. I realize this because this is something to do with dance, and this is something that we all do as architects and designers as well. And this is one of my dream projects which I had submitted for IIID. Top 50 sheets they ask for is your dream project. While, you know, Bharatanatyam looks like a very old art form, it really glorifies the well-being of a person. So I said, why not, if I had the chance, if there's an investor, why not have experiential classrooms? Because a lot of divisions in this dance form. There's eye movements, there's hand movements. So have sculptures, have, you know, the waiting areas, glorifying the reception area. I mean, generally glorifying the art, because what we can do, I can do as an architect is make the space really resonate with what the person can feel. So, you know, using the new age materials, why not something like this? This is our very own little atelier. We called it the train bogie. It's about 800 square feet in a linear format. This was actually a duct space, an open space left by the builder. This is a commercial building in Banjara Hills. So we cut open to make an entrance and push the pipelines on the side. We also love a lot of natural light as much as possible. There's only one side we could have the advantage of lighting, keeping the palette soft and keeping the volumes a little interesting so that we can walk by this avenue every day with a good positive vibe. That's our team. Like here I was saying that how origami was, you know, I was deeply inspired. We got an award for this at a national level. This is an experience center of a modular showroom, one of our vendors. So what we did is the Central Avenue is curated in this panels that are inspired by origami, and they're dynamic in nature in the sense it is just by a nut and bolt it can be changed. So what usually in interiors is we have all these small swatches, right? The customers find it very difficult to kind of sort of imagine. So why not give this to the vendor, to my client in this case, where he can change it as per the, every year he can change the finishes and give his customers a better experience as to how the finishes will look in wardrobes and kitchens and other modular items that they make. And then we divided the space further into these live mock-up bays where they can experience it as a space rather than just a single unit. This is another tile showroom for which we also got an award. Here there was a lot of cost cutting that we had to do. So the cement corrugated sheet that you see, which is usually for construction sheds, we kind of took it up as a challenge to make it use it for a false ceiling inside, which turned out pretty well. And there were a lot of these tiles, extra tiles that our client had, who's a tile dealer here in this case. So we experimented and explored a lot more in that. And the tile man here is from all the broken tiles. There were a few, we broke a little more from their extra inventory that they had. And this particular sculpture acts as a railing as well when one is climbing down. It's a two-storied space. And also like a selfie point kind of to relate to the current vibe. Some mock-up bays here which kind of give them an idea of how the spaces can transform using their tiles. This is a residence, villa residence that in Gachibowli. We try to work a lot with artisans, get a lot of art into our spaces, because that is what really makes something different from the other. And as working with Vinu, being my mentor for many years, that is natural because Bangalore weather is amazing. So we've done a lot of works locally there where there's a lot of skylights. So sunlight, skylight, we try to push it, and then we say there's air conditioning also, we can cut off the space. But particularly here, this space was a redundant space. They left it for Vastu. They used a wall where there was a wall here where the lady there is holding the railing, completely closed, exactly this width, not used for anything. And that was the east. I said, why is it like this? This is an office already running. And it's the same client who wants to redo the office for the younger generation, for his kids. I said, why are you not using it? No, it's Vastu. I said, okay, fine. Then we'll give you light from there. We'll use the conference room. We'll put the conference there. And it'll really help the rest of the space. That is okay. They got it checked. And that really was a transform for 50% of the 3,000 square feet office. But when they're not having conferences, they're not having their meetings, it really helps keep the space bright. They're really happy with the place. Now we're doing a 20,000 square feet office of theirs on road number 45. These are the Rajasthani textile blocks. They're very close to us. Like we use it in most of the projects. This is an interactive mandala panel. This is what they do for the sari printing on our cotton saris and all of that. So we pick these up and use it in various forms. In our office, it's like a ceiling element. Here we use a lot of natural stone for the desks. A lot of cane here. This is an independent villa. So everywhere, though it's an interior project, we naturally have the tendency to intervene architecturally. Like this was a two-layered space and we kind of made it into a double height. This is a Mumbai project which was recently completed. Very interesting, where every inch matters, unlike Hyderabad, because due to the real estate here, we have more space. So this is, the special thing about this is it's a home for cats. These are cat parents. So these poles that you see are not just shelves. Actually, these are cat poles. So they actually play. They're two brothers. A well-traveled couple. Japandi is the soul of the space by keeping the pop of color. These are some more mud homes that we work with from Linmai in Bangalore. So we have more clientele there in Bangalore and Mysore for this. Mud bricks. A little bit of giving back to society, a bit of charitable work here, a school, another home for refugees in school. These are some ongoing projects. This is a farmhouse in Shankarpalli. So here, which is a laser, ma? Unda laser dinke? Idena? So here what you see these, so one day we were at site, it was just the foundation level, and we figured that between 5 to 6 in the evening, there are these migratory birds that kind of fly over this house. So we thought, why not kind of translate it into interiors? Some on-site improvements there. This is another 16,000 square feet central courtyard home in Chevala. There's another office space we're designing in Bhubaneswar. There's another big villa in our case, about 20,000 square feet villa in Kondapur. Excited about these. This is dining space that we are curating and designing for 500 capacity in Vauxhall University. This is a home in Rajahmundry we are putting together for the client. This is a vacation home in Ooty that we are doing. The last day I got a call from Sir Nara Lokesh's office saying that they've decided, I didn't put up the project here, we've done a VIP guest house in Tirumala, that we stayed there for 2 nights after the swearing in last year after the Honorable Chief Minister took over. They really liked the place and I got a call, and we recently, because we are security breach, we're not allowed to take pictures of the spaces inside the 6,000 square feet villa in Kuppam, his home constituency, very close to his heart, because his 42 years of victory is from there. And there's another 3,000 square feet office space also, which we've done, curated for Sir and Lokesh Sir. This is just to show, it was actually a very nice journey for us, ma'am. Thank you for this opportunity that we also took out time to go back and see what we've been doing. So what I've seen here in this graph that we curated with the help of my colleague, architect Velu, is that until 2000, like I said, busy with domestic responsibilities and figuring out stuff, but I never let myself not be in touch with the art, the practice, or at least 1 or 2 projects. Really thank in 2011, 13, 15, 17. Those clients are so important to me because they help me keep in touch. And then in the 19, we started Arna Architects, and just the square footage, how, consistency is something you can see over the years, but it takes time. This is a very special engagements with the IIID. In Insider, we curated 1 kiosk for a vendor. Like I said, 3 projects we were awarded for last year. So this is, now that's about my journey, and this is something that I wanted to kind of interact with you guys here. What we see here is, have any of you all done scuba diving? Right? So, what is this? This is the practice dive, right? They do it in a contained swimming pool. The first one, that there is an instructor with you there and you're doing it for the first time. The first practical dive is when they take you into the ocean. What I'm trying to tell you here, guys, is this is you guys in college. Okay, take all that if you learned, all the instructions, all the knowledge. When you get out of college, that's what it is. It's infinite. Okay? So just a small graphic that I want to put together for you guys. Very, very relatable to all of us, even till today. Okay? So this is one. Yeah. Now this is for all of us with Instagram, Instamart, and many, many more Instas. Guys, this is us. Not just y'all, this is us. Sir will agree, it's all of us here. Okay, I'm not even halfway there. I don't even know if I'll ever get there, but things take time. Because I have 2 kids, 2 young kids, a teenager in fact, and I understand where is this, each coming from and why things take time. But not just our field, but I can say for our field that really need time. Okay, there's no shortcuts. There are shortcuts. Take help of that, take the aid of shortcuts, but for you to actually get the craft, hone your skills, it's going to take time. Be ready for the ride. Be ready for the ride. The first few years is you think you don't get anything in return, financially, commercially, but that are the first few years that are much more important, and then rest will follow. I'm sure Sir here will agree with that. Like in the lawyer's office. And we tried something here with AI. We just, trying things. Now, this is our render image. One of our team members tried this, and what did it do? It closed the basement entry. We have given the inputs. I don't know where the algorithm, how it worked. And the footpath that is meant for the public space outside, it just merged into the building here, like this. Yeah, I would have been happy if it didn't. Maybe we would have given this only to the client. But there are some grave mistakes here. The other one also, there's a balcony there. The entry is closed. The road, the lawn basically extends into the road. So even if we take AI, there's a lot more work we need to do in terms of Photoshop. And then my team says, ma'am, we'd rather do our render ourselves. So I just wanted to show this to you guys. Here what you're seeing, the glass that is there, it's glorifying the service staircase. And the wooden picket fencing kind of a vibe and all that in Kondapur, these are very primary roads and the material, the cost and all of that, right? So this doesn't work. I'm sure there are cases in the future which will work for us also. We're just trying all of these. Now, does anybody know what this is? Right? Exactly. It's a VREP plugin, right? So we very easily can apply these materials when we're sitting in front of the system. What I'd like you all to do is check with yourselves if you ever saw the material physically, have you ever touched it, have you ever felt it? Okay, question it, go out and see it. If it's with the vendor, get it to the office. Don't just do things looking at the screen. In the similar aspect, I just put a couple of more slides that, now these are materials, right? This is something for a faster practice that we put together. Check the applicability, limitation, price, availability, adaptability, sir, and all of it. I've mastered all of this. That's how they do so many projects. But what I'm trying to tell you is when you guys are new in offices, material and site. These two things are really important. Get a hands-on, not just know the material, know all of this about the material. Question the vendor. This is, just wanted to show this. It's a very interesting brief. Quickly, I'll finish. The client said, Mansa, this is not to objectify women, but I want a space. This is an experience center in one of his floors in the office. He said, I want a place where my office boy is also comfortable, and his client is the government of Maharashtra. They're doing something in Bombay. So the ministers and all are also their clients. We want something that both of them will enjoy. And not to objectify women, something like a beautiful lady in a beautiful cotton sari. So it took us a while. And then we started kind of dwelling it into deeper ideas and all. What can be comfortable for anyone is familiarity. Ante okalante parichayam. Now, familiarity ante where can we get it? With what we've seen while we are growing up. Nostalgic, no? Terrazzo flooring, chinna 8-inch by 8-inch tiles that we used to see in our grandmother's house. The folk art was always somewhere there in front of us in places like Shilparamam and all of that. We know Vincent van Gogh because glorified videos are made, experience centers are made in Dubai and all. There is no experience center made for our local artists here. Nothing is glorified here. It is there in India Tribes in one corner next to CVR News in Film Nagar. It is all about how things are packaged and given to us. That's why I was talking about the Bharatanatyam experience centers. So I said, okay, if we put all these things together, hopefully they will find it comfortable. Terracotta, clay tiles, wall sculptures in clay and all. This is a video. Please wait a minute. And when he said, play avutunda. So that is about familiarity. When he said a beautiful lady in a beautiful cotton sari, we could think of how flowy a sari is generally. So it is just a 9 feet height space that we were given in a commercial block. So why don't we take inspiration from the fluidic form of the sari when the woman is walking, in an open space. So trying out terrazzo flooring in the pattern in wavy patterns, seeing some more organic forms in forms of ceiling, bringing in a little bit of courtyard, a little bit of clay there. Hopefully this should be something, it's going to be done in a month now. Hopefully this should be something that is not too glamorous for his office boy. And I don't know how to put it. I hope even the ministers of Maharashtra, the government ministers also enjoy this space which we are putting together. That's how we broke down the concept. This is a month ago when it was being done. This is another small thing we're doing for TDP called Stree Shakti. The reason we took it up is because it's for women empowerment. Bhuvaneshwari ma'am is, they're training the last 2 slides this is. Guys, what do you find common in this? In all the 4 pictures? That's a good point, sir, but that was not the answer. Then I shouldn't have made it black and white, probably. Which one, ma? Teamwork. Okay, I think my target, I kind of missed my target somewhere, but I'll tell you. I'm the only woman in there, right? So what I'm trying to say is when we're in college, this combined study, there are a bunch of us, we move away, move to different places for, personal reasons. But you have to keep in mind, this is mainly made for women, girls out here, I want to put this, that you will be sometimes the only one in a room, in a site, that you're the woman and rest of them are all male there, right? You shouldn't stop yourself. They definitely respect us. There's nothing that is going wrong. Just take care of your safety. You'll wonder because now you're always with a bunch of friends, but later it's not going to be like that in practice. So don't give up because we're my girlfriends, and if you are lucky enough to have a partner, like sometimes the 2 women architects are in a firm, right? But that also doesn't mean they both go to the same site at the same time. They have to run a commercial practice. So this is something I want to put for you girls here, yeah? Be ready for this as well. And sometimes you're the only one. If you really want to absorb the place, at 7:38 in the morning, I send my kids off and I go to the site. Calm, no clients. Because clients are there obliged for a lot of answers. Take in the space when there's nobody. That's the best when you want to design. Safety first, make sure that it's a safe place as well. And most of our lives are on sites because, like I said, site and material is the biggest space where we learn. So we celebrate occasions, everything there. And lastly, but if I don't talk about my better half, more than better half, my best half, like I said, please make a wise choice when you make, choosing your life partner because it really directs the rest of your few years. I'd really like to thank architect Ravi here, who's the backbone of my firm. Maybe not creative, not design, but generally for everything. That's it, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Architect Manasa. Very beautifully documented. Very, very beautifully documented. Please, a round of applause, please. Because I think with practice, with a lot of fame comes a lot of humility, a lot of gratitude, and that's something you experience when you go through our slides. Like very, very grounded, talking about all the small little things which has mattered in our life. And we just got to see it in a nutshell. Thank you again. And this is where I would request all the 3 speakers to please come forward. Sridhar Disa, Manasa, and Meghna. And the students, just in case your people have any question, please raise your hand. We'll come to you, and then sir and ma'ams will be taking your questions. Please raise your hand just in case you have any kind of a question which comes to your mind.
Anything else?
Pallavi ma'am has a question.
Sir, thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. So my question to you is how you can differentiate or how we should judge the AI working style along with our traditional one. So are we going in the right way or what? Yeah, please.
AI is definitely not a good idea. I mean, I don't enjoy it. AI is definitely not a good idea. I've not enjoyed it. I mean, we tried also, as she was telling, we tried few things, but it is very funny. But I think the natural, traditional way, when you start sketching, because I am a guy, I don't know anything on AutoCAD. At least Amita knows AutoCAD, but I have no idea. I can't draw a line in AutoCAD. I remember in 91, this is the first time when AutoCAD has come, and then I've been to the institute. So it was so funny, 91 I remember, practically almost 20, so many years back, 34, 35 years back. So when you draw a line, in those days we used to wait for 1 minute. After 1 minute the line comes. Then you do an offset. तो पकड़ के उसको डाला उधर. तो और 1 minute wait करो. तो 2 लाइन आ गए. तो 90 degrees बना. तो so that is what. So I am basically a guy who works with a pencil and a pen, and that helps me because once you start drawing with the hand, this is a very serious thing. Whereas nowadays when I see people, my staff, no one draws anything, draws on the computer. So the idea is once you start making contact with a pencil and a paper, when you start drawing lines, it can be straight, it can be curves, it can be anything. You are actually walking into the design because that is what the sensibilities actually make. Because when you start, you can actually stand there and watch. You can imagine the three-dimensional format. Then you do a thumbnail sketches there and revert back to here and some changes. So when we do a layout and then we extrude, we can start seeing a form and all. The form actually comes with the drawing when you start because it has to be talmel hona chahiye usme. So this is a very fantastic way. We revert back there, come back, and that's how you zoom it. And then we have, of course, we do a lot of things in three-dimensional format, and we start looking at. See, this presentation, what I've done is just to showcase the alternative technologies, we have. There were I have done a lot of other works with stone panels, actually 10 feet height stones built. And there's no concrete, no cement, nothing at all. So it's binded with. So I have not put that. I have worked with timber also, timber houses. I have not put it here because I couldn't find images for a long time. Huh? Yeah, next time I'll be office में बच्चे लगाएंगे एक काम के लिए. So now these are the technologies. So I have done a lot of interiors with the scrap. We use whenever you see waste. I don't leave it. So I've done one corporate office called Pradeep Constructions, where he's into high-rise buildings and all. It is in. I have done the entire office, a corporate office with scrap, steel. वो site में जो भी बच गया उसको लेके वहाँ एक composition बना दिया वो खत्म हो गया अच्छा लगा. So this is how it is. So the always. AI से छोड़ के ना we goes into that format. We have so many things. The layout can be one, the forms can be different. So we can achieve so many things. And we have a material palette now. So we have a material method, construction method is there, material palette is there. There is no end to it. ChatGPT अच्छा है वो AI खाली letter लिखने के लिए. If you want to write love letter, it is very nice. हमारे ज़माने में नहीं था उस दिन.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, Sridhar, do you encourage 3D printing as well, or?
Very much.
But I think traditional construction is definitely what you were practicing earlier. But now you are getting into 3D printing, which you are actually seems to be liking more.
See why 3D printing? I'll tell you. And why the 3-4 months back I had a staff, my people around 20-22 थे. अभी 3 महीने में 11 जन बन गए. ठीक है. अभी मैं ढूंढ रहा हूँ शायद यहाँ मिले कोई तो वो अलग बात है. Even in the construction industry we are unable to find real guys, skilled guys who do it. If you guy in Hyderabad, the guy labor he charges around 1,200 rupees a mason charges typically. But Auroville guy charges 2,500. The skill set is different. Why 3D printing? Here you need only 3 people to construct the building. So one guy is operating on the layout, on the machine, on the site. The other guy is filling the material in a bucket. And the third guy is just the guy who is going to put the crossbars manually. ये निकल गया जिलेबी डालते हुए इधर चले गया. तो 1 फीट के बाद ना ये rods 8 mm rods cross होगा. Very interesting technique. So इसीलिए that's the best thing is for a styrofoam you need only 6 to 7 people. For a conventional stuff you need around 45 people. So वहाँ labor, so people are not, we are not finding people, and this is the fastest thing. So we are actually killing our own, that's the wrong thing again. But karna padta na, we need to have, someone has to do the job. Yeah. And we know the technology is not only this. Tomorrow we might have something else, AI भी इतना improve हो गया, then you start having a paper and a pencil, you start sketching it, वहाँ बनते जा रहा है आपके सामने उधर. तो वो भी है, मौका जल्दी है, वो 3 साल में आ जाएगा. When you start doing it, वहाँ extrude होता रहता सामने.
Yeah, this is for Meghna. One second.
ये लोग रैगिंग कर रहे हैं मुझे. आप पूछो कोई. हाँ प्लीज आ जाओ, आगे आ जाओ. मेरे लिए इनके लिए एनी ऑफ यू ठीक है
So like we are young designers. Abhi tak I have done drafting and all in some offices as a freelancer, but now I'm stepping down into the field and do the actual work. I want to know what all problems did you face when you started executing sites, and how did you encounter them? I'm asking about when you were in your initial stages, like your first site.
फर्स्ट साइट
What were the problems you faced, and how did you encounter them?
प्रॉब्लम कुछ भी नहीं था यार. I've done my masters, finished my masters in 97. 94 we finished architecture from this building itself. 97 from Delhi. Done my product design, then worked for 2 years there as a product designer, and then started practicing in Hyderabad. I can tell you my fifth project is a Seventh Heaven restaurant. You might have seen. In 2001 I designed it. It was 7. So those days, when I was designing it, in fact it was by my guru. My guru is my friend again, Chandrasekhar Genesis. He is senior to me, 4 years senior to me. So I came from Delhi, he asked me to do it. So I have done it, and then बीच में Kota Reddy was the client and his name. So हम लोग को टेरेस में कर रहा था मैं, and उनको अंदाज़ा भी नहीं था, but he has been a builder and he didn't even know what is actually happening. तो देखा 2 हफ्ते हुए 3 हफ्ते मेरे को पूछ रहा हूँ, मैं कुछ जवाब दे रहा हूँ, उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा था. तो ये डर गया, शेखर को बोला जाके, अरे ये पागल हो गया क्या क्या कर रहा है उधर. तो मैं एक सीलिंग, वुडन सीलिंग बना रहा था, वो नीचे कारपेंटर नीचे ऐसा डाल दिया उसने. तो आके शेखर आया, उसको भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या. दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम विद नो आर्किटेक्ट कैन अंडरस्टैंड द आर्किटेक्ट्स माइंड एंड नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट. तो मैं डर गया, वो शेखर के अरे निकाल देंगे क्या मेरे को. वो मेरा 4th ही प्रोजेक्ट था. तो बोला क्लाइंट खड़ा हुआ, ये करा, शेखर था. तो मैं समझा रहा हूँ, शेखर को समझ में आ रहा. शेखर मेरे को ले गया साइड में, क्या कर रहा रे तू कुछ तो स्केच तो दिखा क्या है. मैं स्केच दिखा रहा हूँ, उसको भी नहीं समझ आ रहा. मैं बोला ये क्या है, वार्डरोब का जैसा है. नहीं सब ये सीलिंग में जाएगा. हाँ सीलिंग में जाएगा ये. सो वंस इट इज़ फिनिश्ड, I think everyone understood it. Now, even now it is there. I've done 150 restaurants all over the world. In Singapore itself, I've done 30. In Malaysia, 3. Bali, unfinished, COVID ka wajah ruk gaya. Perth, I've designed 1. Melbourne, Muscat, Sri Lanka. So these are the restaurants which are in countries. So more than 150 restaurants. That is my first restaurant. After 150, 160, that's still there now. एंड दैट रेस्टोरेंट मैंने भी खुद काम किया था उसमें. एक को किसी को समझा रहा हूँ, कोई को नहीं आ रहा था. तो आई यूज्ड मार्बल्स ऑल्सो फॉर द फ्लोर. तो आई यूज्ड टू सिट एंड डू लाइक ए म्यूरल. बेसिकली आई वाज एन आर्टिस्ट बिफोर जॉइनिंग आर्किटेक्चर. आई एम ए पेंटर एंड अ स्कल्प्टर. आई हैड एग्जीबिशंस ऑफ माय ओन एज एन आर्टिस्ट. तो वहाँ तो पूरा पैसेज को आई वाज डूइंग ए म्यूरल काइंड ऑफ थिंग. गोटियाँ लेके आके दबा के थोड़ा नट्स बोल्ट्स जो भी कचरा मिला, एंड वी मेड अ पैसेज एंड इट लुक लाइक ए म्यूरल एक्चुअली द फ्लोर. और कुछ
My question is for Manas ma'am. So like you are a young designer. I think you might have experienced this ki there's some client, he shows you ChatGPT ka ye photo ye kar deo karke.
Yeah, ma. They come only with a made. They would have homework for 2-3 hours with Pinterest and lot of other pictures. But what happens in the due course of time is navigating our way through our own creativity, adaptability to site, and pick 1 or 2 things. We restrict them, tell one thing that you like in this. You want exactly that, there are people, contractors will do it, we tell them. But initially, just to get at times, luckily when I started off, there was no Pinterest. Just, really. So, but now we know a way to kind of navigate and give them what they want. So in projects, there are 2 types. One is legacy, where it is completely your creativity, which is really, really close to your heart. You have to make a choice. And the other one is for the firm, to run the firm, for the commercials. Yeah.
So earlier I used to do a lot of interiors. I mean, since last 5-6 months, I am not doing it because ये Pinterest की वजह से. छोटा बच्चा 3 साल का बच्चा आके अंकल मुझे ये चाहिए वो चाहिए. And the ladies, housewives, I'm not saying anything. वो हाउसवाइफ भी बहुत खतरनाक लोग हो गए आजकल. एंड वो लोग भी दिखा रहे हैं सब कुछ. एंड ये पहले है ना, इसको गौरी खान को और उसको मारना पहले. ये खाली वाइफ्स थे, रिच पीपल वाइफ्स थे वो लोग. उनका एक्सपीरियंस था। वो उसके बाद शेजा कौन खान है और एक सुजैन खान है, सब है, all these people. So that's why after seeing all this, I never do work for a software guy. Our lady who walks in directly to me, I said, I'm busy, I can't do. And that's why we just stopped not doing much, because it has the interiors has gone into such a thing, you know. In architecture, it's so simple. पैसा भी ज़्यादा है, हाई राइज भी बनाओ, स्क्वायर फीट के हिसाब से पैसे कहते हैं, स्क्वायर फीट के हिसाब से पैसे आते हैं ना। तो 6 करोड़ है, 7 करोड़ फीस आ रहा है, तो ठीक है कि टेम्पलेट है, वो रिपीट हो रहा है ऊपर तक। और 4 GP बोला थोड़ा कर दो, तो वो भी ठीक है, वो भी आ गया। Whereas interiors, I remember, because I never do drawings, actually very bad at drawings, so I used to make hand sketches. I used to do in a site on the walls, I used to do it. I remember doing so many restaurants on the walls. कभी कभी मैं पेंटर को बोला कि इसको रखो लास्ट तक, इसको पेंट नहीं करने का। तो नेक्स्ट डे क्लाइंट बोला इसी को पेंट कर दिया पहले। तो अगेन नेक्स्ट टाइम गया मैं फिर से करने के लिए, मैं बोला सीरियसली फिर से करूँगा। तो क्लाइंट बोला अरे यार उस दिन तूने अलग किया, आज अलग किया, मतलब इट्स वेरी डिफरेंट, नॉट इवन मी, आई डोंट इवन रिमेंबर एवरी डे, वी फॉरगेट व्हाट हैज हैपेंड यस्टरडे, वी डोंट रिपीट एनीथिंग।
Thank you. One last question.
Madam,
it's like for all of you. Now we are designers, so हम लोग को mostly drafting मिलता है at this point. So my question is, what all softwares do look? I am an interior designer. So what all softwares look intern or someone looking to work with you?
मुझे software नहीं पाया।
Well, we look at SketchUp, V-Ray, Photoshop, Lumion. Pretty much, yeah. I think my members will, they are picking up more than what I know as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Anyone? Ragi Gabala?
As for Meghna, actually. So you, in one of your projects, you got one 3-ton rock boulder from Pondicherry. Why did you have to get it all the way from there when you have so many rocks in Hyderabad?
So that's a very valid question actually. So the intent was to keep a certain color palette in place. And also the major reason was the client actually had some roots in Pondicherry as a family thing, you know. So when I explained that we do that lifestyle questionnaire, so that is when we got to know ki, you know, they have some extended family and their roots are in Pondicherry. So it was also something that we kind of gave back to them in terms of memories, that whenever he looks at that rock and that bench, he's like, this is from Pondicherry, this is from my place, you know, that's the kind of thing. And also secondary was mainly for aesthetics and the color palette that we wanted to, you know, adapt to the place. So that was another reason.
Okay.
Yeah, for Meghna, I mean, wonderful presentation. You
Thank you
actually
so
showed the entire process, how it from the beginning till the end. So earlier you said, kya ped paudhe, you know, people never used to value so much about landscape and all, but the scene is changing right now.
Yeah.
So as students of doing masters in landscape architecture and all, do you still recommend them to do a masters? And you know, what is the present scenario? How do the values MArch masters level, you know, as a landscape architect, what do you recommend to students getting into that field? Is it just the choice in terms of your interest, or how is the, you know, the field as such?
Yeah. So a lot of masters entries that we have got when we conduct interviews with them, when they apply to our firm, a very common answer that we get is we love nature. We love plants. We wanted to do something to give back to Mother Earth. And that is also the sole reason that subconsciously something pushed me also to pursue landscape. So some people are wired differently in their minds. I would strongly recommend for younger generation to pursue landscape, because we are creating community spaces. We are creating spaces for people to step out of four walls and come in and, you know, take in natural air, natural oxygen. And in India especially, it is extremely required. Public spaces, open spaces, considering the way the population is increasing and the pollution is increasing, we need more and more landscape architects and town planners in our country, wherein we can do so much with our open spaces, the lakes that are there. Hyderabad has so many lakes. You know, we need people who can take initiative to kind of bring in the concept how it is there in outside India, wherein the government develops the lakefronts. People come in together, they go jogging, they go walking, you know, so that culture is required in India. It's high time that it comes in, and landscape architects, town planners are the ones who can take that forward.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you have the passion, you get in that field, and of course, the need of the hour is landscape and all.
Yes.
But are you getting that kind of clientele? You know, end of the bill, once you start constructing, end of the day, your budgets get over. Landscape, ke liye do people keep that kind of budgets? You know, again they get a horticulturist, but a landscape architect gives something more.
So
I feel.
a landscape architect plans in a holistic way. A horticulturist will only look at it as a horticulturist. A landscape architect will plan keeping the surroundings, keeping the built forms, keeping the site condition, everything in mind. This is the major difference between a landscape architect and a horticulturist, wherein we take all the teams together. We take all of them together and plan the entire space in a way that can add more value and more benefit in terms of site and in terms of technicalities. We take all of them together and, you know, go. Horticulturist is a part of the entire process. It is not the process.
I know. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I know. The clients don't understand. My point is that, of course, I understand this.
The fight for the budget remains, ma'am. That remains.
Can I request the students to please be seated for another 5 minutes?
जो बचा वो हमारे लिए.
Student. So,
excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me. Yes. I have a question for everyone, for our speakers here. I wanted to ask. Basically, all the designs are inspired by different inspirations, right? But what do you do if you don't have any inspiration? Like, if you have no idea of what to do or any design?
That's actually a very good question. There's a lot of times you have a creative block. So you very strategically take in the space, that is what a site can offer you, the minimum requirements given by the client, and doesn't have to be a point of reference for anything. Sometimes it will organically evolve with this also. That's from my experience.
Okay.
So what you mean is that when you don't have any idea as such,
Yes, sir.
वो तो पागल है बार.
No, as in.
We are actually, I mean, we have been trained 5 years to our job. Actually, this is our job. It's a service industry. We are being trained to do that. नहीं तो फिर योगा करो या मेडिटेशन करेंगे या कुछ करेंगे, दिमाग को ठंडा करेंगे. बत्ती तो बढ़ेगी. It has to happen. It's very interesting actually. See, the whole idea of creative mind. I mean, how the people. See, if you look at. We might be stagnated by mind at this age. Every day, every year goes on, so we get stagnated. Now, if you start looking at the people who are very young, 5-6 years old, so they don't have any stagnation. I mean, they are very, I mean, even it's a wrong way or right way, but they are bubbling with the energy. And then we start growing at 12-13 years. Then थोड़ा restrictions आ जाते हैं. कि मालूम है मुझे भी एक बार एक मूवी देख रहा था कि क्या ये मरना ये हमेशा आता था पापा जी बैठ में थप्पड़ मारे, ये कभी कभी सीखो यार, व्हाट इज दिस. तो वहाँ रेस्ट्रिक्शन हो गया. सो वी बीन restricted not to. So when we have a free mind, I mean the kids have a very free mind. So every day the whole idea is that जितना young बनोगे ना आप, एक सोच में बनने से, सोच में तो सोच सकते हैं ना 16 साल में कैसा रहता था, 16 साल में कैसा रहता था, एक एक वर्ड का मीनिंग अलग अलग हो जाता था. बचपन में डिलाइट अभी एक मीनिंग है. हर एक वर्ड को ना, जस्ट टेलिंग यू, एक वर्ड ले लो डिलाइट. तो बचपन में द मीनिंग चेंजेस एक्चुअली फ्रॉम योर एज ऑनवर्ड्स. सपोज बचपन में आइसक्रीम था, वो देखते ही डिलाइटफुल था. 16-17 ईयर्स में लड़की अच्छी लगती थी. अब जब आर्किटेक्चर खत्म हो गया, अभी पिलो डिलाइटफुल दिखता था. या स्टूडेंट फाइनल ईयर स्टूडेंट था तब तो वही लगता था, अरे पिलो देखते तो इट्स वेरी टेम्पटिंग है, लड़की छोड़ो आइसक्रीम छोड़ो, ये अच्छा. तो अभी उम्र में तो पता नहीं चल रहा है. तो हर एक वर्ड के लिए एक मीनिंग है. वो मीनिंग भी अपने साथ ही चलता रहता है. तो आप बोध मारे तो एक वर्ड ले लो, माँ बहन करो.
No. Thank you, sir.
That's the last question we'll take. Yeah, please pass on the mic there.
Yes, sir. Good evening, all. This is from 8th semester from the JNFU college. Firstly, I would like to thank the lady for giving this opportunity for the students here and all the dignitaries who are present in the hall. Sir, my question is to like you, what is this? If a student in the student position after completion of their bachelor's or their education, they want to establish a firm with an having some everyone has at a point, everyone has a situation that they are some behind there, they would like to establish somewhere. As what to suggest the people or youngsters to do, how to get sustain in this field, like I mean to be get payment architects or like that?
No. The first thing is, once you pass out from graduate from the priority is whether you need to go for masters or not. So once you find it where your strengths lies actually, so you usually prefer those areas that you have a strength in landscapes. You go there. So there's nothing like my. When I was teaching architecture, I was. It was very nice. When you passed out, there was a it was like a big hole. I mean, we got a tank and also prefer to do a master's. So masters, I prefer to do product design because मुझे उसका जान लोगों तो जिसका थोड़ा स्ट्रेंथ है वो ज्वाइन करते हैं ना, मुझे तो कुछ पता भी नहीं था. तो I preferred a subject which is very tough, and it is really tough. One of the toughest courses where from here to your understanding about mechanics, you want to be an electronics engineer, you need to be a mechanical engineer, you need to be a civil engineer. So the kind of depth which goes into it, until as 5 years of architecture, you never seen how a ceiling fan works, how a switch works. We don't know. As an architect, there are so many things. The moment I've done this, then I know in and out of the thing. I mean, the materials, the range in product design, you have it. You start giving solutions to automation, and it opens a wide. But that's a very wrong thing. By joining, if not masters, you just work with someone at least for that period of 2-3 years. Don't jump into practice with 5 years of education here. You can't achieve anything. Just have a grip, 2-3 years, 3-4 years, at least minimum 2-3 years, so that you have a strong footing. You tend to understand the client, how the client speaks, and you need to know how the office functions basically. So these are the basic intricacies where you need to understand. So that is a must. If not masters, just do for 3-4 years.
Anything else? It's like there must be a platform, sir. Everyone will look for a platform. Like students wants to create their own. They have some platform to showcase their things. So,
जल्दी क्या है यार, सब्र करो थोड़ा, मीठा 2-3 साल काम करो किसी के पास। अभी ऐसा है कि अभी अभी छोड़े तो आप जाने, अभी जाके काम में साइड में बैठ के काम करने वाले हो क्या? 5 ऑटो थोड़ा रिलैक्स हो जाओ। एंड वन मोर, 5 साल पढ़े ना, ये इसको पढ़ाई नहीं कहते इसे। तो जो भी पढ़ाई है उसको अनलर्न करो पहले। लर्निंग अलग है, अनलर्निंग अलग है। इफ यू अनलर्न एनीथिंग एवरीथिंग देन यू आर द फैंटास्टिक थिंग। वो सोचने के लिए अनलर्निंग क्या होता है पता है? एक इंसान बनो पहले, ये पूरा छोड़ दो, जो सीखा है वो भूल जाओ, और वो भूल जाने में जो कोशिश करते हो ना, दैट इटसेल्फ इज द बिगेस्ट थिंग। 3 साल के बाद मिलो, बात करेंगे।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you so much, all the speakers. So we'll just take a moment, and all the students, just be a little more patient. We'll just finish with the felicitation. So. May I now request IIHRC Chairperson, Architect Pallavi Anchari, to please come forward. I also request Architect Amita Raj, Joint Honorary Secretary IIHRC, to please come forward. We'll give away the memento to Sridhar Reddy sir. I now request our joint honorary secretary, our honorary secretary IIHRC, I'm sorry, Architect Naveen Chalsani, to please come forward. And a token of appreciation to Architect Meghna Dalani. Yes, their best halves, please join in. Mr. Shashwat Gahanwar. I now request Architect Rakesh Vasu, IIHRC Honorary Treasurer, to please forward to felicitate Architect Manasa Devbhaktani and Architect Ravi too. Managing Committee, please come forward. I acknowledge all the colleges who participated in this event. To start with, we have Vaishnavi School of Architecture and Planning, CSIT School of Architecture and Planning, Geetam, JNIS, JNFAU, Hamstech, JBR, Lakhotia, Deccan, Aurora Design Academy. Just in case I have missed out on any college, please tell your name so that we'll have a note of it. And in the meantime, all the faculty members from various colleges, we would request you to please come forward. All the faculty from various design colleges request you to please come forward for a group photograph before we take one with the students. Please come forward, the faculty from various design colleges. We now request all dignitaries, Bharat sir, please come forward. All the students from all the design and colleges, please come forward. We'll have a group picture. All of you, in fact, in the audience, I request all of you, please join in on the stage. All of you, please quickly. All of you, please come forward. Quickly, please. We also wanted to announce that we have this insider show coming up next year, that is 2026, I'm sorry. And there will be a student membership drive which will be run soon. For all the students for the membership, there will be this membership drive which will be done soon, which will be roughly around 500 rupees per annum. Just for you people to know, for further details, you can always contact us.